Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. This is the finale of What If Deku Had a Whole Quirk, and as always, if you enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. I want to say this, for starters, sorry this is coming out so late. We actually had something going on in my building, for my apartment complex, and it was like blaring for fire alarms all the time, and it was just a test, but unfortunately it was like impossible to record like the entire time, so it wasn't fun like at all. But with that said though, hope you guys still enjoy the video. Make sure to check the links in the description for the Discord and other stuff like that. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's get right into it. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is face to face with Gigantomachia, a giant monstrous beast that he's going to have to take down. For the first time, he would basically transform in unison with the Hulk, and it feels as if everything is all connected now. Everything and everyone. He speaks clearly, thinks clearly, and everything is clear. That the anger he has right now is the anger he needs to channel, and the anger he holds is going to need to be completely and utterly unleashed to defeat this beast. At least that's what he thinks, and that's what he's preparing for. Izuku would begin to roar as he charges forward, jumping at the monster, beginning to punch and claw and scratch on the monster itself, and it's durable. He can tell that it is massively durable, but Izuku would do everything in his power to basically try and stop this monstrous beast, punching and digging and kicking and everything you could possibly think of. He's doing it all. Izuku continuously beating on it, but eventually it would get a hold of Izuku, and Izuku would get slammed into the ground, and everybody would call out to him and basically wonder if he's okay. Is he alright? Is he going to survive that? Izuku would then be buried under Gigantomachia, and Izuku would slowly but surely push his way out. A roar can be heard from Izuku Midoriya. The Hulk has risen from underneath Gigantomachia, and he would begin lifting him up higher and higher and higher. And as he lifts him all the way up, as he gets him to basically all the way up on his shoulders, Izuku would then slam Gigantomachia to the ground, then pile driving himself through Gigantomachia's face borderline and beginning to beat on him until he was completely and utterly subdued. Izuku would be completely panting and tired, but Izuku can feel that he has a lot more energy to go, and he turns his attentions to All For One, but as he looks, he would see All Might. All Might ready to go, and All Might ready to stop this for good. And with one United States of Smash, All Might would end or knock out All For One and would defeat him once again. Everybody who's watching and everybody who is currently checking out what's going on is cheering. Everybody is freaking out and yelling and going crazy, thinking that this right here, this person, Izuku Midoriya, he will be the true next hero that will be just like All Might, if not even greater. Izuku would stand on top of Gigantomachia with All For One on the ground as well, and Izuku would stand there triumphant, and everybody would be cheering, everybody would be happy. With All For One's defeat, a power vacuum in the world of Japan, or in the place of Japan in terms of hero society, would grow bigger and bigger. But Izuku would have so much more to do, but for his heroic advances, for his amazing cooperation, and for him basically saving All Might and stopping this catastrophe, he would get rewarded with an actual hero license. This hero license would allow him to basically start full-time hero work, but of course he would keep up with his studies and take tests when needed, and basically keep up with what he needs to keep up with, but he would now be labeled as a full-time hero, not a provisional hero, a full-time hero, in which of course this would make a lot of the people in UA extremely proud of Izuku doing something that nobody has really ever done in the existence of Hero Society, and he was able to do it in record time, only being a first year. It is an understatement to say that it was impressive. It was an understatement to say that it was amazing. Izuku Midoriya has done something absolutely transcended upon the hero world, in which he continues to try and train and work hard and so on. And he does this throughout UA High School as well, but he doesn't really like work with them as much, only basically delving in studies and stuff like that. But he does start working with Mirako, a lot more, in which of course Mirako would be very excited about this, thinking that Izuku is a big component of what her future agency can truly do. But soon Izuku would get a call from somebody who felt like they needed his help, and that would be Sir Night-Eye. Sir Night-Eye would say that there was actually an occurrence that they found, or more or less they found basically Overhaul himself, and they want to basically raid the base. They want to raid the base and take over and basically put Overhaul in prison. So that is what Izuku's mission is to do, or at least help them to do, and he is part of a giant task force in which Izuku is basically told that he is the entry point, that he will utilize his Hulk form and be the entry point once they get the warrant, and he'll go busting through the wall, and any big giant and people that are kind of more difficult to handle in terms of raw power, Izuku would handle them on his own and be able to do that, in which this would lead him to facing a giant monster of a man. But here's the thing, even with a giant monster of a man like Quirk basically being a giant dude, and he's like a monster borderline, Izuku would have no issues at all with handling this beast, would have no issues at all handling this giant person, in which he would obviously defeat him and help throughout the entirety of the raid, seeing if anybody else is in need of any assistance or in need of anything in general. Izuku helping a plethora throughout this raid, and eventually it leads to facing off with Overhaul, standing side by side with Mirako and Mirio, and basically they were ready to take on this person. But this is a bit overkill. Izuku is easily going to be able to defeat him, but he has to be careful, because Overhaul's quirk could really spell trouble for them all. It could really spell trouble for every single one of them if he lays a hand on Izuku Midoriya, in which eventually leads him to shrinking down from his Hulk form and using his normal state to help Mirio and Mirako, in which he is still formidable in that state, just nowhere near the powerhouse he is as the Hulk. He still would be able to fight alongside them, defeating Overhaul and saving Eri, and that is the big thing for them. They want to save Eri. And during his off time, and he has a little bit of it, he begins to actually speak with Eri, talk to her, and help her out no matter basically the occasion. And Izuku begins to try and get her back into a normal state of mind, right? A normal state of mind, because at the end of the day, she was put in a situation that was very drastic, very, 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 very scary. And at the end of the day, it was something that they were not expecting by any means, and Izuku knows and understands that it was a scary moment for Eri and a scary time in general. So he wants to make sure that she's not only alright, but that everything is going to eventually work out for her, and he wants her to live a normal life, live a good life, whatever that means. If it's becoming a hero eventually, or basically just living a regular life in general. That's what he wants for her. He kind of sits down and becomes that brother-like figure for Eri as well, and just spends a ton of time in his off time with Eri, trying to get her used to the school environment and stuff like that. Now, this would cut into some of his work time, but of course, Izuku would be able to find a nice work balance throughout this era of him being a hero, in which everybody is pretty jealous at the fact that he literally can do this and be like an actual hero already. And everyone's thinking, wow, this is absolutely insane. Like, how is he able to be a hero already and still ace all his classes and so on and so forth? And some of them believe that they can do the same, but it's pretty obvious that there's only one person who could truly do this, and that is Izuku Midoriya. But more specifically, with the help of the Hulk itself, being able to truly bond with the Hulk, even if it isn't fully and utterly kind of figured out just yet, and he's not going to like stay in the Hulk form forever and be completely coherent all the time and all this stuff, but being that two different beings are now within his body, he knows that they can respect each other and they can also work together, and that's what matters. Being able to work together, work hard, and on top of that, be able to truly help as many people as possible. And soon there's a lot of attention that comes to Izuku. A first year being a pro hero, someone who's probably creeping into his second year, of course, now being a pro hero, well, there's a lot of other places in the world, including the United States, that are trying to get him to come over and work with them. The United States is even trying to offer a large sum of money for Izuku to travel over there and be a permanent resident, and also kind of, finish up his, high school and stuff like that, but also be a pro hero, and they would give him a large sum of money to do so, because he's kind of a phenomenon now. He is this kind of green hulking monster that is extremely strong and blah blah blah, and people see him as the perfect image for a hero, in which it might sound odd, but it's the truth. Izuku is scary, but in another realm, in terms of him being a person, is also nice, gentle, and basically you would not be afraid to be around this person. The Hulk is scary, but having a creature that is like the Hulk basically comfort you in the idea that the thing is scary, but he's there to protect you, is definitely helpful in the long run. Which Izuku would obviously contemplate the idea of doing what they said, and they were like, yeah, you can come to the United States, make a bunch of money, this and that, blah blah blah, but he ends up deciding that that's not for him, that he's not going to do that, and he wants to stay in Japan with his family and continue his studies, and also continue just working with the people that got him to where he's at, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of respect from Izuku, and Izuku believes that they have a lot to do with the success that he basically had, in which, of course, that is true. There was a lot of the success was to do with, well, of course, the teachers and All Might and all these other people, and Izuku acknowledges that, believing that he should really stay where he's at, stay put, and basically continue his being a role model as much as he possibly can for the future generation. Now, with that said, Izuku has a lot to do, a lot to learn, and a lot to become as a hero, because being a hero is no joke, and being a hero is no laughing matter, or it's borderline not easy by any means. And Izuku knows this, he understands this, and Izuku knows what needs to be done at all times. And even if he ends up making mistakes here and there, Izuku knows that there's a lot to be done, a lot to be said, and basically a lot for a hero like him to be postered up like a actual poster child. I mean, at the end of the day, he has a ton of responsibilities that are massively difficult, but responsibilities nonetheless. Now, with that said, though, Izuku's journey as a hero may be at its climbing point, but it is not at its peak. Izuku Midoriya will soon become something greater than even himself, maybe even the greatest hero to ever exist, and also maybe even one of the greatest role models to ever exist as well, because Izuku Midoriya has become truly the potential #1 hero, and it seems as if people have no doubt that they will be talking about him sooner rather than later in the history books and even in the present day. But with that said, the story of Izuku Midoriya as the Hulk ends right here and right now. And that is where we'll finish off What If Deku Had a Hulk Quirk. And if you enjoyed, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. Of course, the movie of the series will be coming out tomorrow. And I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. And I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.